SNDP Podcast is back with episode 94. Dan, let's make this episode as cool as the other side of the pillow. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much. Same old, same old. Nice gesture to you with the passing with Stuart Scott. A lot of people have been doing it, so figured he would help out. It's a terrible loss Sunday when that hit. So I hope everybody in the ESPN family and his personal family is doing okay, because I'm sure this week is pretty terrible for them. That being said, Happy New Year. This is the first show of 2015, so Happy New Year to Steve and everybody else. It was a fun first week of the wild card for the NFL side of things. We'll get into that later. We'll definitely get into that later. Don't worry, Steve. We also have the Islanders playing red hot, even though they lost the last two games. Seems like the world's coming to an end on hashtag Isles Twitter. And our friend Steven actually had a fun post this morning, so we'll ask him later on. The Rangers seem to be playing red hot as well. They only lost one game in the last 2 weeks, so good for them on that. So we'll get more into that with that. And the Giants finally will have a brand new offensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator,
I'm sorry. It feels like last year because it's right around the same time Piazza didn't make the Hall of Fame, and we needed a new offensive coordinator. So this is not a repeat episode. New defensive coordinator, I apologize. Can't wait for that talks to happen. So stay tuned with that. We're going to play more Crush It, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the S&D Podcast. You just listened to tonight's song, Crush It. Might as well crush it with the next topic we're going to talk about. The New York Football Giants finally getting rid of Perry Fewell as defensive coordinator. It's been a couple of years going. I know this year there's been a lot of injuries on the defensive side that some people thought might have saved him. But this season, granted with injuries or not, just the defense just didn't get it done. Bunch of times, just the running game, the run defense just looked horrid. The biggest game that comes to mind was the Seattle game when two guys ran for over 100 yards. You can't let that happen. It just seemed that the adjustments weren't coming quicker than what it has in the past. We thank him for Super Bowl 46, of course, but Tommy and the rest of the Giants needed a new change on defense. And I would love to see what happens because more than half of the defense is going to be free agents this year.
His defense worked well
when we had pass rushers.
When we had pass rushers and the three safety sets.
Yes.
When we were able to move Antrell. Granted, we wanted Antrell as the safety.
Yeah.
But when we moved Antrell up, I felt like the defense worked better.
100%.
When he played on the line, I feel like our defense played better. He was basically a linebacker most of the time. That covered.
100%, yes. And when we had Deion Grant being that guy instead of Antrell.
Right. Well, it did work until Stevie Brown couldn't stay healthy, and what's his name?
Will Hill.
Will Hill couldn't stay out of a car.
The thing with Will Hill is just his name. The
talent's there, but
his name is gonna haunt me for as long as he plays in the league.
Because if
it's his own stupidity actually cost him not being on the Giants, and figures he's killing it with the Ravens. Who's his defensive back coach?
Spags.
So
exactly. Ding.
Yeah, that would be nice to have Spags. A lot of people said Mike Nolan. I wasn't a full-fledged Giant fan yet to watch every game with him as the D coordinator during the who was the coach before? It was Dan Reeves during the Dan Reeves era. So the defense was obviously there. Some people mentioned Jim Schwartz. Obviously, he's going to be asking for too much, so I don't see that happening.
There's a lot of rumors of Jim Schwartz getting the bump up.
Yeah, I could see
in
that.
Buffalo.
I could see that, which I don't think Jim Schwartz is that particularly good of a coach. To be honest, as you see what he did with the Lions, granted, anybody was better than Leninhan that one particular year, but I don't know. I don't see him being that good of a head coach, but if that happens, I could see it. I'm just happy with that. It's just a lot of question marks going into next season with the defense. Just as much as question marks we had last year with McAdoo and everything like that. I think the defense needs to figure out what kind of identity they're going to have next year. Are they going to try to re-sign JPP, or are they going to franchise JPP?
That was my next question to you. What are we doing with JPP? Are you franchising him?
See, the thing with franchising him, it's still a lot of money. So, what do you like? It's a win or lose with that. And the thing with that is I think you might as well just give JPP the money if you're gonna franchise tag him, because he's just gonna be pissed off.
The key's gonna be to backload the contract.
Yeah,
if you're gonna give him money, it's gonna be backloaded.
Of course,
you can't have him front loaded because of the problems, and you're also paying Eli this year.
Yes,
because Eli probably make less money this year, but more in the long run, because you got to give him more years going into the last year of his contract.
Of course. But it's not the end of the world for us not to pay Eli this year. It would be nice for us to do, but Eli's not going to be the one to hold out. It's okay.
He's not going to be like Revis?
He's not going to be like Revis. And it would be dumb for him to do that.
That's not Eli.
That's not Eli, other than draft day. But honestly, I think JPP is your main focus before you go out and search in the free agency market. Like I've been talking, Steve, behind the podcast, I think the first two rounds, either way, the Giants have the 9th pick in both rounds. Go something in defense, the best defensive player available on the board. Because honestly, on defense, who do we really have to say he's our defense?
You could say whatever you want about the draft. You know you're taking the best available.
Yeah, but I'm saying that defensive player. We do not have that one guy. People think JPP is, and he has shown his moments. Yeah. Can John Beeson stay healthy next year? I think it was more of him rushing to get back this year. He just should have played it safe. He rushed back, and it backfired. I could see Antrell coming back next year. I see Antrell and JPP coming back next year. They seem to be that kind of guy, but it's all about the almighty dollar. So anything's possible. But
okay, if you sign JPP, do you tag roll?
Yes, because the safeties are cheaper.
You're willing to tag roll?
Yeah. Who is the high? What is an average price for the top paid safety?
You're just asking technical.
No, it's not technical, but you would assume they're a little bit cheaper.
Well, what's Charles Woodson make?
Well, Charles Woodson's probably getting retired.
No, he already said he wants to play again.
Okay. Regardless, you have to look between. Obviously, we don't have that in front of us, but I would assume the defensive ends are making more money.
Defensive ends will probably make more money. I'll tell you this: the Seahawks have the highest paid safeties right now.
Well, duh. Obviously,
their cap dollars 15.
Yeah. See,
second team is us.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas. Okay.
That's amazing that it's us, because we only have one safety.
Earl Thomas makes 7.
Okay.
This is the 2014 season.
Okay.
Earl Thomas made 7.3.
Okay.
And Chancellor makes 5.8.
Okay.
Then for us,
it's Antrell.
Oh, yeah. Antrell makes 9.2.
Yeah.
And then Stevie Brown makes 2.7.
Okay, so obviously, I'm going Antrell if there's someone going to be franchise tagged, but he obviously deserves more. But as the always adage is, in Reese we trust. I think when it really comes down to it, we have to get the best available defensive player in the first round, and do what we did last year in the second round, pick up a can't miss offensive lineman.
I feel like they should do that in the first round.
But
if you tell me the one of the top 2 offensive linemen is available at 9 or 11, if you tell me,
I agree.
If you tell me there's a better offensive lineman than defensive lineman,
I agree.
Round, do that.
Okay, I agree.
You pick a line and take the best guy available.
I agree. I wouldn't mind going after a linebacker. If that stud linebacker's there, I would not mind getting it.
Stud linebacker, yes, but Kennard was picked in the
third
round.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Find me a diamond in the rough again like him.
I agree. I'm just laying out what they should do.
Just think about this though.
No way is wrong, unless you say you get a quarterback in the first round. That is the only that pretty much is the only position, and wide receiver are the only 2 positions that you can tell me with a straight face that the Giants could not need help in.
You may go into next year with McLean on one side, Kennard on the other, Beeson in the middle.
And I would take that.
And you're okay with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Going into next year.
I'd take that every day.
But then I want 2 young guys.
Of course.
That aren't Herslick and Williams because I'm sick of waiting for them to develop.
Oh, well, they're both free agents, so one of them is definitely not coming back. Herslick I could see back on because of special teams. It's Herslick, Williams, and Paysinger are all free agents.
Okay, so bring back one of them for depth, but bring me in 2 other guys to fight in camp for another spot.
Yes. So either Herslick or Paysinger for special teams,
right?
And someone to fill the void. Honestly, as much as I love Herslick's story, I would rather Paysinger. I've always liked Paysinger.
I feel like Paysinger could step in better.
And he could actually fill the role as an actual linebacker. He did 2 seasons ago. I don't understand why he didn't really fill that void this year. I guess couldn't they trust Kennard that much, but there was a bunch of injuries this year. So we'll see what happens next year. And what kind of coordinator would like that style of defense? That's the most important part of it. It's obviously going to be 3-4 because we have the players for a 3-4 defense. A 4-3 defense.
Right. And we're always going to be a 4-3 defense unless we bring in a guy like Rex Ryan, which #Giants Twitter needs to stop saying they want because he's not going to be a defensive coordinator.
Whoever are saying that, they're not intelligent, and they just think fantasy is real life.
The only way he'll be a defensive coordinator is if there's a stud offense and already built defense.
A.K.A. the Falcons.
No, already built defense.
Oh, okay, yeah. Touche.
Already built defense.
Touche.
I mean, the Falcons is the perfect head coaching job. He already interviewed, and he already left without a contract. So,
well, he's making another round 2 for that apparently today.
But
how about Doug Marrone freaking just striking out both ways on Monday? Apparently he didn't have the best interview for the Jets, and his coaching staff was pretty much throwing him under the bus for being selfish. Really, a coach being selfish? You don't say. So he really looks stupid now. He really hopes he has a coaching job lined up because he could have easily still been the Bills' head coach right now, but greed got in the way of it.
Well, do you agree with what they're saying is the reason why he really left and not the ownership? They're saying he left because he didn't agree with the Watkins trade. Just think about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. That was the worst trade ever.
You could have stayed at 9 and had Beckham, Benjamin.
Yeah, I agree. And not give up the whole farm for first-round draft picks forever when they knew they needed a quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason why I would have moved up to 4 is if there was a stud quarterback that was going to be there at 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And who was the first quarterback picked last year?
It was what's his face? Wasn't Manziel? It was Bortles. The pick before him.
At 3. Yeah, he was 3.
Yes, he was 3.
Okay, so and then who went next? Bridgewater?
No, Manziel.
Oh yeah, Manziel went next, and then Bridgewater.
Yes.
So really,
and then Carr, but Carr's been the best one out of everyone.
Bridgewater.
Okay, whatever.
He's finalist for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just needed to put a quarterback in it. They put everybody and their mother in that category. So we'll see what happens with that.
I don't know. I feel like Bridgewater may end up being the best quarterback.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think for what Carr had to go through this year, he's been the best one.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. I would have been.
His numbers just didn't show it, but Carr was definitely the best one. I'll tell you this: I was talking with my work buddy. We were talking about the over/unders this year for teams.
Wow, never too early.
No, for last season.
Oh, okay.
And how the the Vikings were 6.5, and the season 7-9, and that was without Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
That was without their best player.
It's pretty impressive.
So, there's another New York team that we don't like talking about, but we'll talk a little bit about them. 2 words at 5 or 6. Are they 5 or 6? 6. The Jets. 6?
Yeah, there's 6.
Amari Cooper.
Well, that would be great. That would be really good. But him with Decker and Curley at the slot, I think he's a free agent, so don't hold me to Curley. But Curley, Decker, and Cooper right there, that would be awesome.
Right. Because Washington's not going to take a wideout. Probably.
Oh, and Harvin. Holy shit. Forgot about Harvin. So Harvin, Decker, and Cooper, there's no excuses for the Jets offense to suck, even with Geno. There's literally no reason. Just throw the ball.
The only way Cooper won't be there is if Oakland pulls Al Davis and says, hey, look, he's fast and plays receiver.
Yeah. Oakland needs more help than that. So.
I feel like Oakland should protect Carr.
Yes.
So they're going to take an offensive lineman. I feel like the Jaguars the Jaguars may be a team interested in Cooper because they'll look to try and get help for Boyles, someone to throw to, even though they actually have a pretty good receiving core, very underrated receiving core. So, really, Cooper falls to 6. Unless the Jets just decide to be the Jets and trade everything to get up to the first pick to take Mariota.
Yeah, they pretty much need to. Well, that's what happens when you need a GM and a coach. So, God knows what kind of coach and style of a coach is going to be.
I just drafted the team. I just made their first round pick. Call me up. I'll GM for the season.
Yeah, well, I wish it was that easy. I would have been the defensive coordinator for the Giants as well. So, see what happens with that. The playoffs. Let's talk about the playoffs with this. So
Ryan Lindley's not good.
Well, we knew that. Unfortunately, poor Cardinals, man. It really is a shame with that. It really is a shame. The Cardinals were so good all year. Very impressive. They were winning the division for most of it. Just the injuries finally took a toll, and that was it. So the Carolina Panthers are going to be the sacrificial lamb on Saturday.
Yeah, they're playing late Saturday.
They're playing late Saturday.
They're 8 o'clock on Saturday.
They're going to be the sacrificial lamb for the Seattle Seahawks, who are just on a red hot streak right now.
You do realize that when they played each other in the season, the game ended like 7-6?
Yeah, no, I do realize that. But they have all the guys back on defense. It's not going to end well. Unless Cam decides to be Superman, which he calls himself.
Literally Superman.
Not
Superman. Fake Superman. Literally Superman.
The Seahawks might take the cover, too. Right now it's at 11. So
it's a tough place to play.
It is a very tough place to play. They also will not face Ryan Lindley and 78 yards of total offense the whole entire game. So
who would win a game right now? Ryan Lindley running the Cardinals or the Texas Longhorns, who had 56 total yards in their bowl game?
Lindley, because they're NFL right now. But
yeah, but if you had to just play 7-on-7, their offense first,
I'm still going Lindley. But there's better games to talk about. I think it really came down. The Ravens played solid, though I'm not taking anything away. But
Bell not playing.
Bell not playing really killed any chance the Steelers had. And you can just tell from they picked up Ben Tate during the week, and they try to get him going as much as possible, but no cigar to that. And honestly, Joe Flacco looked really awesome, typical playoff Joe Flacco. So anything can happen in both AFC games. Anything can happen.
I really want to see an Eli versus Flacco playoff game. like an actual playoff game.
The world would explode.
Because
they're the same player.
They may be the same player, but when it comes to the playoffs,
that's what I'm
both
saying.
win.
That's what I'm saying. They're the same player when it comes to the playoffs. That's what's amazing. So I could see both teams upset in the AFC, but it's not going to happen. One of them will get upset. So I'm interested to see. The last time they played, the Broncos and Ravens played in the playoff game, we all know what happened.
Well, this week is Ravens, isn't it? The Colts are playing the Broncos.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
You're thinking of the Patriots.
Yeah, yes, they've owned them too.
Last two AFC, not last year, but the year before, the AFC Championship game was the 2 years before that.
Yes, correct.
Was the missed play in the end zone where the guy dropped the ball, and then the missed field goal.
Yes, correct. Both games have a lot of stories, is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, yeah. And Peyton versus the Colts, Luck versus Peyton. You got that story. I mean, it's amazing that Peyton has the records for yards and touchdowns as a quarterback in the postseason.
Not really.
In one ring.
I'm not shocked about that because he's made the playoffs every year other than 1 year, really.
The biggest difference between the Broncos in the past 2 seasons, though, is C.J. Anderson.
Of course.
They finally have the running game they needed. They've wanted and needed.
Yeah.
But then again, there's also another NFC game.
Yes. Go Paco. The Packers play the Detroit. They should be playing the Detroit Lions, but they're playing the Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, with the Cowboys, they played great to win. I know they only let up 3 points in the second half. Just who knows what would happen if they got called for the pass interference.
Okay.
On top of that, Des Bryant being on the field with his helmet off, not being allowed on the field.
Okay. Let's recap a little bit. I'm ranting. Here goes my rant about this. Everyone needs to stop complaining. It doesn't help that the punt went 10 yards.
No, I agree. Agree.
And it doesn't help that the Cowboys recovered a fumble, and then they gave the ball back right then and there to the Lions, and then they fumbled.
Dallas deserved to win the game.
Right.
You don't blow a 14-point lead. I completely understand that. I agree with you.
It was a tale of two halves.
It was. But certain plays needed to be called, and the NFL does the NFL thing. Oh, my bad. We messed up on the call.
Right.
They would have been in field goal position, and who knows what would have happened throughout the rest of the game. That's what pisses me off with the NFL.
Right.
I'm more mad at the NFL than I'm saying that the Cowboys got lucky.
I think I'm more mad at the fact that they made the call on the field.
That's what I'm mad at. I'm not mad at the Cowboys winning. They clearly deserved it. What I'm mad about is the NFL knowing they call that play 10 out of 10 times.
Right.
And they call the play on the field. And then they go, oh, no, never mind. We're picking up the flag. And then all hell goes loose. That's what's crazy about it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. And like I was saying in our group chat with our friends, it's both choke teams, both don't wanting to win this game.
Right. That's what it comes down to.
And it really, you got to feel bad for. And the one thing I just don't understand with the Lions is they were dominating them in the first half. They had no answer for Golden Tate.
Okay, you know my quarterbacks I hate list. You know how
Stafford's high up.
Stafford has jumped so high on that list.
Oh, absolutely.
That game. So on clutch, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, of course, Rivers is number 1 on my list, but overrated quarterbacks. But Stafford now is 0-18 lifetime against teams with a winning record on the road.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. And you got to give Dallas a heads up. Remember I said a couple of weeks ago, I feel the Giants running them. So no one can call me a hater. Granted, I'm a little bit of a hater, but I was more mad at the NFL for botching that. And they do this at least once every couple of years in the playoffs, and that's what's frustrating about it. And it's just get your shit together.
There's always going to be a call where people are going to look back and say, "Hey."
But that blatant of a call, though, you call that 10 out of 10 times, not every day. You call that every day, especially on how much of an offensive game the NFL has become. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, and even the NFL knew it. And you see Stafford, they had Stafford mic'd up, and he was saying the same thing. But kudos to Dallas. They're going to have their work cut out for them on Sunday.
By the way,
I can't wait for that.
One of the funniest parts was...
That should be the best game of the whole weekend.
When, what's his name, recovered the fumble and then fumbled.
The new Leon Lett. Yeah, I saw
And then they show Leon Lett, who's working for who's a defensive line coach for the Cowboys now.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, just throw some salt on that wound.
Well, he did it multiple times, so it was a habit of his. Honestly, kudos to Dallas. But
they deserve to win. They should have won the game from the start. They ended up winning the game. They deserve to win.
Yes, but that one play will forever taint that a little bit.
Right.
But with Dallas, they need to establish the running game. They do not establish the running game, it's over.
Keep Rodgers off the field.
That's it. That's all it's all about. They need some lucky plays.
Rodgers is going to pick them apart.
They will be picked apart.
Easy picked apart. So it's basically
they average almost 40 points every home game. So
what is it, like over 300 attempts or something without a pick at home?
Something ridiculous. But as we remember, last time the Packers had a bye week, granted it was a different style of team. What?
The last 2 times they had a bye week.
No, but there was a champion. Oh yeah, good point. Wasn't it wasn't the Giants both times?
Yeah.
No, but that wasn't a bye week. That was an NFC championship game.
Yeah. So they still had a bye week that year.
I don't mean it like that. But the first division round. I'm not talking about I'm talking about how. But they didn't bench anybody this time when they played the Giants. The last time they had a bye. That's when they...
Well, that was because everything was clinched going into the bye.
Of course.
This time they had to clinch the bye.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit different Green Bay Packer attitude this year. So stay tight with that one. They're going to be ready to go.
Don't forget, like we keep reminding you, no one goes into Lambeau in January and wins, except Eli twice and Michael Vick once.
Exactly.
By the way, on that game...
And I'm not to say anything. Tony deserves to get a win. As much as it hates me to say it, Tony and Jason Wynn definitely do deserve to win. And I'm just saying that, getting it out of the way, but those are the 2 guys that deserve it the most. But not this year.
By the way, interesting fun fact for you about Cam Newton. Before winning that game against Arizona, the last Heisman Trophy winner to win a playoff game?
Who was it?
Tebow.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was Tebow when he beat the Steelers. That was a fun game. We were coming home from the Giant game against the Falcons that day, actually.
No.
Yes.
Tebow was the night before. Yes, because I was watching it at Champs.
Right, whatever.
But the other fun fact about the Heisman winning, the last Heisman Trophy winner to win a Super Bowl, quarterback to win a Super Bowl?
Who?
Roger Staubach.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That proves how it's just a college MVP award.
Oh, absolutely.
And how overrated the award is.
It's not overrated. It's just people overrate it for the NFL.
Right. Like you draft a guy based on the fact that...
Well, that shouldn't be the case anymore because as you see, it's just not the case. Quarterback-wise.
Right.
Well, Ron Dane is the other guy, but Charles Woodson seems to be pretty good. But you get what I'm saying. Who are you picking this week? Or you want to save that for the closing?
Let's do our picks now.
Might as well.
Let's get the picks over with.
No, let's just go without spread. We don't need the spread. We're not gambling on it.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's go in order then. Okay. If we're gonna go.
So it's New England and Baltimore.
Correct. Who do you got in New England?
My super pick is my Super Bowl. One of my Super Bowl picks is New England again. Gotta go with them. But Baltimore is not going to make it easy. I don't know. A healthy Gronk just makes the difference. And I think with Revis being able to shut down one of the Smiths, the only thing I could see the Ravens beating them in is they have a bigger offensive line and they'll use Forsett a little bit more. That's how the Patriots looked a little weak the last couple of weeks. But I'm sure Belichick is ready to roll. These are the games Belichick takes care of business in. But the Ravens do give the Patriots the biggest heart of like, oh crap, we have to play them kind of team in the whole entire league unless they're playing the Giants in the Super Bowl. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. But you get what I mean. So I'm gonna go with the Pats. I think they're gonna make a run.
This game's gonna be close. Patriots are the one, right?
Yeah. Pats are the one.
The way the Patriots are playing, nobody's going in there winning. But I still think it's going to be close. I still think it's going to be a less than touchdown win.
Yeah, it's the way it's been. Because the Ravens have played really well in New England the last couple of playoff games. Granted, they lost 2 out of the 3, but we all know what happened to that one game and the other game. But Flacco has outplayed Brady all 3 times.
Right. It came down to the guy's not making the plays for Flacco at that.
Yeah. And the scary thing is he's 1-2.
Right. All right. So you already said Carolina's going to get destroyed.
Yeah, you're going to agree with me on that. It's just, why do we have to watch this game kind of thing?
That's one of those. I'm really happy the Islanders are playing at 7.
Yeah.
So I can miss the first half.
I agree.
So like the second half will be on. It'll be like that out of my corner of my eye type.
Yeah,
of game.
no, you'll have it on. You'll pay attention to it, but it will be. Why am I watching this game? That's what happened the first games of both games first days last week.
Right, especially the Arizona game.
Especially the Arizona game and a little bit of the Colts game.
Well, to be fair, it was 14-10 at halftime in the Arizona game.
Yes, and then it all went to crap. So I was happy I was en route to wherever I was going for the Steeler-Raven game. So I'm like, oh God. This is
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how the past 5 years I never got to watch the first half of the first game, and they were always
for a reason.
Right.
It's usually the Bengals and the Texans the first couple of years.
Let's not talk about the Bengals. Oof.
Yeah, honestly, they didn't have the injuries caught up to them as well. I think Andy Dalton didn't play terribly.
How the hell does Marvin Lewis have a job?
Yeah, well, yes, that's a given, and we have that running joke as well. He has some naughty pictures of the owners, that's for sure. He's turned into Mike Milbury.
You gotta be kidding me.
He's turned into it's like the Islanders with Mike Milbury. They just never got rid of him.
The fact that we made it to halftime of the Cowboy Lion game on Sunday and he still had a job was amazing.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when your franchise is just a disaster, and you're able to be above 500. Some franchises are just that putrid. So, that being said, it is what it is.
Alrighty, so the next one is, we already said Seattle's blowing them out.
Yes.
Carolina, don't even go. There's no point. Okay. Sunday at 1.
Sunday at
1. It will be interesting to be at the Santangelo house.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be there, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I wouldn't miss a father-son moment like that for anything.
Oh, of course. Definitely. Definitely. You got to go Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay. It's they're at home. They're also at home. Aaron Rodgers is a machine at home. Dallas can choke, even though they've been better this year. Des Bryant's been good, but he's slowing down substantially. Granted, it might be the injury, but he substantially might have hit a wall. That finally happened. Des Bryant was nowhere to be found. They'll score their points, but no one can stop Green Bay when Green Bay is going.
You said Murray hit a wall?
Yeah, he's hit a wall a little bit.
That wall was named Hamikansula.
Yeah.
That's a wall that if you hit, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Green Bay's going to win this game.
Yeah. I don't see elsewise. So
unless Romo's back ends up being like Plaxico's ankle in the first game and just freezes. It's cold enough where he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last game, the Broncos-Colts game.
I honestly think Peyton Manning's going to rip them apart.
I see Peyton Manning ripping them apart as well. Their defense is just not good. Unfortunately, it's going to be another year of Andrew Luck losing in the division round. It's just a matter of time that he'll have people.
The day they retire.
It's just the running game. They just don't have a running game to complement Andrew Luck. That's what really comes down to. Boone Herron is okay. You can tell that the other running back before Trent Richardson played before Trent Richardson. They have to get a running back next year. That's their number one priority. So we know that. So see you next year, Colts, unfortunately. So like that being said, I could see now I'm going to pick the Patriots, but watch, the Ravens are going to pull an upset or someone's going to pull a crazy upset because there's always some sort of upset this week. So would I be shocked if any of these teams win? Obviously not, because it's the NFL. That's my disclaimer with this, and you have to agree with me on that. But we'll be back with more Division 1.1, Crush It, and we'll be right back to talk hockey.
Podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.
Welcome back to episode 94 of the S&D Podcast Show. Third calendar year we're recording in.
Yes, sir. We made it. We made it this far. Started from the bottom and we're still there.
We could play the Kevin, what's his name song? I made it. I made it.
So anyway.
Hockey,
man.
Hockey.
Yeah, New York Islanders are still, for the first time in 20 years, as of the other day, before their 2-game losing streak, the best start in franchise history in the last 20 years, so kudos to them. They're in a 2-game losing streak in the West Coast, so typical Islanders. But like our friend Andy says, you can't expect the Islanders to play at a 700 clip for the rest of the season, as much as a lot of people wish that would be. And my co-host and co-anchor Steve, that was at Steve's Facebook status today, so that was kind of funny when I looked at that.
Well, yeah, I agree with him with that. I feel that Capuano's not the guy that's going to lead this team to where they got to be.
And I've been saying that for years, and I know I'm not the only one.
The talent is there. The coach isn't there. That's my problem.
We've been saying that for months and years. It's a broken record with
He's
me.
the Marvin Lewis of hockey.
Yeah, well, yes, of course.
Capuano gave him the photos that... Capuano. Milbury gave him the photos that he had and said, I'm going to go work and make more money on TV.
Of course.
Borrow these for the next couple of years, you're set.
100%. But no, all kidding aside, who's been playing pretty good for the Islanders?
Nobody.
That's
nobody.
Absolutely no one's been looking good.
They've all just been so bad. Defense has looked bad. Bad positioning. Bad this, that, and the other things. The offense is not even scoring goals. They scored 2 goals against Edmonton, and one doesn't count in my book because it ended up with .02 seconds left on the clock.
I hear you. Jeez.
I mean, it could be worse. We could be Edmonton, who had a 2-0 break and didn't even get a shot on goal the other night.
Yeah. Ugly, man. Very ugly.
You can't be outcoached by an interim head coach and a first-year coach if you're going to be a solid team.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's typical Islanders, man. Typical Islanders. I hope it's not a sign to come in the second half.
I did tell Matt before the new year that we were going to have a bad road trip. So
Yeah.
there's still 3 more games on the road trip. Yeah.
They're playing at the Garden in New Jersey, right?
New Jersey Friday, at Columbus on Saturday,
Then at the Garden.
and then at the Garden, which I will not be going to because the cheapest ticket right now is about $250.
Yeah, no, the Islanders are the biggest ticket in the city of New York. The area of New York right now.
And then you take the Rangers hot streak, and you then add the Garden ticket prices in general to it. And
Just not happening. Are you going to the Devils game?
No, not worth making the trip on a Friday.
Yeah, no, that sounds...
We do, however, have a plan to go in March. They're playing on a Saturday to go spend the day there. So
that works.
a couple people we know from Devil's Army has invited us over to their tailgate as well, so that should be a fun time. A good friend of mine, Devin, a good friend of mine, Ben, as well. You know Ben, of course. Yes. They're all going to be there at their Devil's Army tailgate that they usually do on Saturdays, so they invited, of course, a bunch of us.
Ben goes to that many Devil games?
He tries to go every weekend game.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
Erica lives in the Bronx, so.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like, wee.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
So, with that being said, the Islanders should beat the Devils. Columbus should be interesting.
Yeah.
And then the matchup. Then we get to hear from the Ranger fans if they beat us. Oh, we're better than you.
Honestly, both teams. It's just if the Islanders and Rangers were able to make one team, they would be the best team in the league. Hands down. Because if you got Lundqvist,
we've been saying that if Lundqvist was an Islander for years, the Islanders would be better.
No, but I'm just saying it as an overall statement. It's I don't know, man. The Islanders just need to get their heads out of there, man. They need to come. They need some home cooking. They definitely need some home cooking.
The Western Canada thing is not working out too well.
Yeah, the Islanders have been playing really awesome at home this entire year. I think we finally got fourth never lose back when figures it's the last season at the Coliseum. Go figure. But that being said, they just got to step their games up tonight. They're playing tonight, right?
The Islanders not.
No, the Rangers. Only the Rangers are playing tonight.
Rivalry night on NBC Sports. They're playing the Ducks.
Yeah, big time rivalry.
At least if they were playing the Kings, I would understand.
At least but they're not a rivalry either. It was just a good series. There's nothing bad that happened in the series. If you really think about it, there wasn't that one hit that knocked a key player out, or it was a 7-game series kind of thing. Yeah, it was a great series. Three or four overtime games, and the Rangers just couldn't get the puck behind the net. And it's my guy, Rick Nash, could have, if Rick Nash had any effort that he has shown so far this season in any sort of the playoffs, the Rangers might have had a shot at the Stanley Cup. And I firmly believe that. After watching how Rick Nash has played this year, I firmly believe that. I think St. Louis has been all right this year. I don't know. I wouldn't be going too crazy about that. But Rangers are who the Rangers are. They're going to find a way to make the playoffs. So are the Islanders. So hopefully for a playoff round. That would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome to see. I would definitely not be able to watch any of the games with my fiance's family, but that would definitely be fun. With that being said, both teams got to play well. The Rangers are just playing red hot right now. Other than the game against the Stars, for some stupid reason, the Rangers thought they would be able to play fast hockey with the Dallas Stars, which is just not going to happen this year. Would you agree with me on that? It's just the way the Dallas Stars are playing this year. The Rangers were just playing flat that whole entire game. But other than that, they had a 10-game winning streak. They looked awesome against the Devils before that loss. They looked whatever against the Panthers because they're the Panthers. They didn't play Luongo on New Year's Eve. Then they destroyed the Buffalo Sabres. It was just
doesn't count.
That doesn't. I'm not saying it was a quality win, but I was at the Green Turtle in Franklin Square pretty solid place for the football game. And the Ranger game was in front of us, but on the smaller TV. And every time I looked, they scored a goal, and Nicole's like, "Oh my God, they scored again! Holy crap!" That kind of thing. So that was crazy kind of night for the Rangers too. Of course, when we watch, they don't score 6 goals in a given game to make it fun, but they have their work cut out. They have back-to-back the next 2 nights. When you hear this, you'll know if they beat the Ducks or lost to the Ducks. Then they play at the Kings, Stanley Cup rematch. Then they play at the Sharks on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Then they're home for the Islanders, and then they're on the road again for Boston and Columbus and Pittsburgh. So after the Islander game, they don't play again for another week at home. Then they play the Islanders again on the road at the Coliseum, which is pretty much a home game for most years, but this year should be different. And then then they're playing the Thursday night against the Canadians, which I'm going to be at that game, so that's going to be a fun game. And then then home again against the Carolina Panthers. Not Carolina Hurricane. What's wrong with me tonight? It's been a lot kind of day. But the Rangers this month is pretty much on the road, other than the 4 road games that they have left. So the Rangers really need to take care of business on the road and establish their dominance against teams that they could beat or be close to completing against for a playoff spot to know to gauge what's going on with the Rangers situation with that. So the Rangers got to keep on playing the way they've been playing. Just end of story. It's not going to end. It's impossible to stay that way, but if it happens, great for them, kind of thing. So, I do want to mention the Rangers did made a right call with keeping Anthony Duclair on the juniors for the rest of the season as well.
It still cost them a contract, but it happens.
It happens, but honestly, him playing on the 3rd and 4th line is not.
But that should have been the decision at the beginning of the year when it would have not cost him the year on his contract.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion on that.
I agree with you, but the Rangers.
I'd rather. If you know the guy's going to be a 3rd, 4th line guy on your team, but play first line minutes for juniors, I'd rather not waste the year on the contract.
No, I agree, but honestly, when it happened, Step was hurt. A couple of other players were hurt. So, and he played so well to make the team. So it was just an awkward situation from the get-go. And then, of course, they sent him to play juniors, and he pretty much played pretty solid. He scored 4 goals in the tournament. He looked pretty good. He was on one of the goals in the game-winning game, with the game-clinching game against the Russians. So he has a lot of potential. So the Ranger fans should be very excited with that. It should be interesting to see. I highly doubt it, but see what the talks go with Stahl for the next couple of weeks. If something doesn't go down, I could see something maybe going down with that. As much as that might hurt the Rangers this season, it might go down. But with that being said, let's see what the Rangers do in the West Coast. The Islanders are done after tonight. Not tonight. Why am I saying tonight? But the Islanders are done with the West Coast after their final game, right?
Just the Midwest. Dallas, Nashville, Chicago.
Okay. So the Islanders definitely have their work cut out. Definitely with the Dallas team. With Taylor Sagan, I'm sure Boston is really kicking themselves in the nuts, huh? Might be one of the worst trades of all time, huh? The Taylor set.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Did it ever come out why they did that trade?
Because he wanted a lot of money, and they decided to get something for him instead.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. So the Islanders have the division the next couple of weeks. The Islanders just got to find a way to get that form back, pretty much, when it comes to, when you mentioned, they play the Devils, Blue Jackets, Rangers, then home against the Penguins. Then they play the Canadians, which is always good for a conference battle. Then you got the Flyers. They don't play for a whole week. Then they got the Rangers home.
Well, they don't play for a week because of the All-Star break.
Yes. No, that's February. When's the All-Star game this year?
A couple weeks.
Okay. So
they have a week off.
Okay, so All-Star game is going to be Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. Skills Saturday, game Sunday.
Okay. Then the day off. Then they play the Rangers. Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense now. Okay. Makes sense now. Okay, so the Rangers play the 20th. Then the All-Star break. All right. Makes sense now. All right. Any other crazy hockey news that you would like to share?
No.
No, it's been quiet this week. It's been really quiet, other than Yager being the oldest man to score a hat trick, so congratulations on that.
He's the oldest man to do everything at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So, let's see what happens. That's going to be a fun couple of days in the West Coast swing. Unfortunately, I'll probably be passed out by the end of the Ranger game on Wednesday night and a couple of the games with the Islanders. But the Islanders are back on the East Coast, so there's nothing to worry about with that.
That is right. So let's go Islanders.
Yep.
Go Rangers.
So,
and let's step up Islanders. Big second half coming up. Let's go.
SNDPODCAST is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Hockey League or any of its affiliates.
Alrighty, the first episode of 2015 is in the books.
yes,
That was a
sir.
good show. We're only 6 away from 100.
Yeah. We're right there. And we're going to bother Random Rank like we promised.
We do have to bother Rankin. We got to bother some other people about that show, too. We got to make that a big show.
Yes, sir.
I think we had them on for, 50 and 75?
Yeah, pretty much.
So we got to make that show a big show for us.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to start planning that for our fan base because we're going to go big.
Yes, sir. We definitely got to go big on that.
So with that being said, we got some new things coming out on the sports blog, so check out SNDPODCAST.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Division 1.1. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our stuff and all their stuff and everything in between. All the sports. And with that being said, got anything else to plug?
No. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Enjoy your sports. The Knicks are tanking. So,
National Championship prediction.
oh, shit. I'm going, it's Alabama, and so used to Alabama. I'm just kidding. It's Florida. I'm just kidding.
Wow, you are bad.
No, I'm just messing around with you. It's Ohio State and the Oregon Ducks. It's going to be a good game. For once, it's not an SEC matchup game of some sort, so kudos to that. I just have such a man crush on Urban Meyer, but Mariota and the Oregon Ducks just find a way. It's going to be a good game. What's the spread of that game? I know you're going Ducks, so I guess I'll be the different guy and I'll go Ohio State.
I think it was 6 on that game.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome game. I can't wait. You're going to go Ducks because I know how much you hate Ohio State. So I'll go Ohio State. Why not? Screw it.
They have a third-string quarterback.
I know. Hey,
for the love of God,
they beat Alabama, man. They beat Alabama. So I'm gonna go. Urban Meyer pulls his strings one more time and takes care of business.
Hold on. You want the spread in this game, right?
Yeah, get the spread. Let's get that spread.
Let's
get that spread, though.
This is not showing me the spread. Hold your horses. National champions.
So how do you feel that Jim Harbaugh's finally your coach?
I bought out khakis in every store.
Yikes.
Khakis for the rest of my life.
Oh, God.
I just can't believe he was on Mike the other day, and they actually asked him if he was going to wear khakis in Michigan. What else is he going to wear?
Yeah, that's a stupid question. Silly goose.
As of 1 day ago. Scroll down. First off, I don't like the fact that they're wearing all white.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's what they do.
6.5.
Okay.
For the Ducks.
6.5. I'm going to stay with the cover.
All right. Someone had it at like a 48-41 game.
Yeah, I can see that. It's going to be.
So you're taking the over.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the over.
75.
Of course. Definitely. Definitely. It's going to be one of those games. It's 100% going to be one of those games.
Hopefully it won't be like the one from 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to, yeah.
Sorry, had to.
It's okay.
I heard that somebody was making Mariota jokes after Florida State.
Really?
How he has a better chance of finding his girlfriend than Winston did of holding onto the ball.
Oh, my God.
That was bad.
Honestly, with the Notre Dame game, I as much as I said they
You were happy to be there.
I was so happy to be there. They had no shot against Alabama. It was like the little Giants. It was like, oh boy, what kind of thing, and it was just, yay, we just got happy to be here kind of thing. But yeah, it's gonna be nice to see a non-SEC type of team being in there. So that's definitely a plus to see. So I can't wait to watch this game. I'll be honest with you, it's gonna be really fun to watch.
By the way, there's nothing that's, I think, more ironic that everybody's so anti-guns now, and they're calling the Ohio State kid, the quarterback, you know what his nickname is?
What?
12 gauge.
Oh, great.
That's his nickname.
Yeah.
Around school, it's called 12 gauge. Because he's got a cannon for a gun.
Yeah, and he's also, why do I have to go to class? So, yeah, that's alarming a little bit. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't blame Braxton Miller, by the way, who is transferring to play his senior year.
Of course. And what's-his-face is also going to be transferring as well. We're talking about quarterbacks and transferring. Golston. Most likely going to Italy. Good for them. Both scenarios.
Well, Braxton's going to Duke.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. So.
He's smart. He's going for his degree, which is the more important thing. But he knows that he's going to be the best player on their team, so he's going to be able to show off. And you know what? If he goes to Duke and plays well, it could just help his draft stock.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I mean, look at Flacco with the Delaware State. How many games did you watch of Flacco the year before?
Exactly.
So, with that being said, we'll catch everybody next week.
See you next week, guys.